Hello everyone, and welcome to my first DIY video. And today I thought I would show you guys how to make your very own lily thorn wreath to represent the passion and resurrection of Jesus. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a wood cross that's about 5.5 inches long. And what you're going to do is you're going to lay it on a paper towel. And you're going to take some gold paint and use a paintbrush about this size, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna paint all over the front of the cross. And once that's done, you're gonna let it dry for a few minutes. Now once that is dry, you're gonna take a red paint. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a smaller paintbrush and you're going to paint the centerpiece of the cross. Now, if you can't find a cross that's identical to this one, you could just use a plain cross, just as long as it's the same size as this. And I highly suggest you paint it red because that's the color of the passion, and it's very important that you paint it red. So you're going to paint the centerpiece of this cross, and then you're going to let it dry. Okay, while you're waiting for the cross to dry, let's go ahead and get started on our wreath. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to flip it over to the back, or whatever side it is, I guess. And you're going to find any of the wires that's connected to, that's help hold the wreath together. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a paper clip, and you're going to outstretch it to make a shape like a triangle. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to poke it through one of the wires that sticks out a little bit, and then you take your pair of pliers and you're going to twist them around. So you do it on you twist it on one end of the paper clip, and then do the same thing for the other end of the paper clip. So yeah, like this. Just be very careful when you do this, so you can't hurt yourself. Like that. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take some stretchy cords, which is mostly using for fishing. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the one end of the string, and you're gonna find a really nice spot just above on the top of the wreath. And you're going to take your pair of pliers, so you can grab the end, and what you're going to do is you're going to tie it. You're going to tie it 2 or 3 times. And this can also be a little pain sometimes, because it's a pair of pliers. You might want to use a pair of pliers to help tie it up from the end, because it's really hard for you to see it and really hard to get it. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So you're going to go from the bottom to make a horizontal line. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the string, and you want the string to be about a little bit out away from the wreath. So you're going to take some wire cutters, or you could use some scissors, and you're going to cut it. Then you find the end, and you're going to tie it, and then you're going to do the same thing for the other string that you did. Okay, so once you have all the strings in, it should look like this. As you can see, I've got a vertical line going down. So what you're going to do now is you're going to do the same thing horizontally. You don't want it to be in the very center. You want it to be just a little bit above the top center. So you're going to do the same thing you did. Find a really nice spot and tie it up. And this time what you're going to do is you're going to take the other end with the string, and you're going to go on the bottom, and you're going to do a loop. This is to help secure the cross. Because what you're going to do is you're actually going to glue the cross in the very center of this wreath to help make it look like it's floating in midair. Then do the same thing for the other end. You want to measure how far you want the string to be out, just a little bit away from the wreath, and you gotta cut it with some strings with scissors or wire cutters. And you do the same thing for what you did on the bottom. Now, in order to get this cross on the string, what you're going to do is you're going to find something small and flat and about the same height as this wreath. And what I'm using is stacks of plastic plates. Now, you can use a book, or you could use stacks of CDs, anything that can help help it glue the cross on. So what you're going to do, once the cross is dry, you're going to attach it. You're going to try and put it in the center. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your hot glue gun and you're going to attach it on this, attach the string onto the cross with the hot glue. And what you're going to do is you're going to press them down with the string and you're going to let that harden. Okay, once you have the hot glue all over the back of the cross, it should look like this. Now if you flip it over, you can see it almost looks like it's floating in midair. Now you're going to flip it over right side up. And what you're going to do now is you're going to take some toothpicks. And you're going to place them in certain areas around the wreath, just as long as it's strong enough to hold it, just a little bit. This is to help represent the crown of thorns that was placed on Jesus' head. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a lot more on it. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, now once you think you have enough toothpicks around the wreath, it should look something like this. And you can see the toothpicks coming out. And if you're going to put toothpicks around the edge of the wreath, on the outer edge, I would highly suggest you lean them towards the left or the right, not straight out, because obviously it will poke someone. So I highly suggest you do that. Now the next step is you're going to take your hot glue gun and you're going to hot glue the toothpick on the wreath. This is to help keep it very well secured. And as you can see, I've already got one, and I'm going to let that harden. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'm going to finish the rest, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, now as you can see, I have hot glued all the toothpicks to the wreath. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a brown paint, and what you're going to do is you're going to take a little paintbrush, and you're going to add just a little drop of brown paint on the paintbrush, and you're going to paint the toothpick and the hot glue that's on the wreath. And this is supposed to resemble the thorn, which I've already said. Now, as you can see, I've already painted one, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here and finish the rest of it, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so once the brown is completely dry, what you're going to do is you're going to take a Easter silk lily, and you want to cut off about 1 inch away from the flower. So I'm going to cut about that much. Then you're going to take your pliers and you're going to turn it like this to shape like an L. And what you're going to do now is you're going to find a really nice spot that's strong enough to hold the lily, and you're going to add some hot glue around it. Just be careful when you do this so you don't hurt yourself with the toothpicks. So once you got it in, you're going to tuck it in, and you're going to let that harden. You're going to do 5 more Easter lilies around the wreath. And there you have your very own thorn lily wreath. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great Easter and have fun. Bye!